All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
Fucking A.
Back again.
All right, fine. To pick up where we left off, don't look up Talking Raw. That name's already taken, and fuck that guy who took it. So,
after doing a little research, he found out that it's already taken, so his new channel will be to be determined in a little bit.
Fuck Toby Maguire.
A podcast with Toby Maguire.
Call me Dobie.
So first off, I want to start off by saying, bravo, Marvel.
Yeah.
Bravo for trolling us.
Fuck you, Captain America.
Trolling. That I will give them credit though. That was kind of a.
They duped us.
Yeah. For a minor spoiler, there's two end credit.
Spoiler. We're gonna spoil the shit.
Yes,
out of this movie.
two end credit scenes. There's the one in the middle that is actually a legitimate cutscene of that, and then the one at the very end is basically Captain America coming on and saying, "You know what makes a good soldier? Patience." Because patience, usually good things come to those with patience, but sometimes it leaves you empty-handed.
Fuck you, Captain!
And that's it.
To take a piss for 45 minutes, you asshole.
And let me just say, the credits. Oh my god, I think they hired a small nation to create this movie.
Right.
The credits just
It went on forever.
And at that moment that Captain America said that, everybody in the theater was like, you bastard!
My initial, I was like, all right, Captain's on. I'm like, wait a minute. And he kept going on. I was like, are they fucking trolling us?
Yeah.
And he's like, but sometimes you kind of end up empty-headed. Like, you son of a bitch!
Well, here's what made that scene, really. Throughout the movie Spider-Man-Homecoming, they had scenes of Captain America doing videos for the kids at high school, as if he was like the old washed-up superhero that, never did anything wrong, always plays it by the book, and so he's like the gym teacher, the phys ed teacher.
Wearing the first Captain America movie,
1940s
his suit. Yeah, his original suit.
And they kind of made a joke of Captain America throughout the whole movie.
Right,
Which was appropriate. Since it was the start
the
movie.
very first one in the gym class, when the video is done, he's like, "Yeah, I think he's a war criminal now, but let's move on."
The gym teacher, y'all know who the gym teacher
Hannibal
was?
Buress.
Yeah, Hannibal Buress from The Neighbors.
Yes,
he was the cop in The Neighbors.
That's right.
Yeah, a great stand-up comedian. They had a lot of big names in this movie. I was blown away by how big. First of all, I was blown away just to see Jon Favreau. Was he in any of the trailers? Jon Favreau, the creator or the director of Iron Man, and I don't know, did he write that movie? I think he might have even wrote that movie.
He might have.
A comedian, actor, director, producer, Jon Favreau is awesome. His name got kicked around for Batman a couple of years ago for directing Batman. But yeah, he played a big part in this movie. Tony Stark had a significant role. We even got to see Pepper at the end of the fucking movie.
Yay! Tony Stark and Pepper back together.
That made my day, really.
Fuck you, Gwen.
She is a weird bitch, but hot as
You ain't no hollaback girl.
Yeah.
That ring for 9 years.
Right.
Yeah, that was a nice little drop right there. But at the end, you see Pepper and Tony, and they're like, "Oh, maybe we should have another announcement." Oh, I don't know. And then he's like, "Oh, wait, yes, the ring. I've been holding this since 2008." Like, since the first Iron Man movie.
Right. Yeah. And let's go backwards. Let's talk about the ending.
The scene of the warehouse.
The very end, where they bring him to the Avengers headquarters.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
All right.
And basically, he foiled the Vulture without the suit. You guys all kind of got that hint from the trailer that he was in the suit, and had to do it himself and become Spider-Man, which he did, man. And they after treating him like a child the whole movie and kind of ignoring his phone calls and whatnot, they were finally like, "Hey, come on, get."
He's like, "Yeah, you did a good job." Tony's like, "You did a good job."
We're taking you to the Avengers headquarters.
Pretty much taking all the credit. He's like, I like to think my tough love got you to that point. He's like, "Yeah, we'll just say that it did."
Just say it. We'll just say
We'll just say you did.
And then he leads him to this big vault, and I'm thinking, there's the suit, and we're all kind of thinking it, and he's like, welcome aboard. And fucking pushes a button, the door slides open, and it is the fucking Iron Spider suit, which is bad.
They never say what it is. He never says.
But it's got the Iron Man.
But it does. Yeah, but it does look metallic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, with the Iron Man gold in it.
Yeah, so our general consensus is that is the Iron Spider suit, and it's probably not the last time we are going to see that.
It's there, on hand, ready to be
It's
used.
there. It's in the universe now.
Right. And fucking, after hearing everything I heard, and I kind of said this on the podcast about Spider-Man's taking over the Avengers soon, and they got big plans for Spider-Man, and that kind of shocked me. He was like, I'm good.
I want to say at this point, it's not confirmed that Spider-Man is going to take over. We're just
Avenger, though, right?
We're just guessing.
Would he be an
He's
Avenger?
I guess
he's been declared an Avenger.
Yeah, he's been declared an Avenger. He turned it down.
But he did,
again, spoiler, he turned it down.
But he did say not yet.
Not yet. Yes, he did say not yet.
Yeah.
For the time being, just call him a part-timer.
He turned down living at the base, but he didn't turn down being an Avenger, though.
Yeah,
I think it's basically incurred that, thank you, but I'm just not ready yet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the whole movie, he rushed everything. He was supposed to learn through the training wheels program.
Yeah.
That was implemented into the suit by Tony
Right.
Stark.
So yes, Tony gives him the spider suit, and he finds out from his friend, who is a whiz with computers, that his suit is on a training wheels program.
Who was that? Have I seen him in any movie?
I don't think
he
so.
Was good, man.
He was good.
Yeah, he was
Spider-Man's sidekick, or Peter
very
Parker's
funny.
sidekick. Very, very good. I thought the AI in Spider-Man's suit, I thought that would have been Friday, but it turns out that it's not. I guess the AI did not have a name.
Would have been.
I thought it was Friday.
Oh.
The AI.
Well.
And she never identified her. It was a female's voice.
Karen.
He named her Karen.
Which
He was going to name it Liz, and then he ended up. Well, yes, Spider-Man named her.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, well, something like, I don't have a name, or she never identified herself. So he's like, oh, I'm going to call you Karen.
Right.
Yeah, Karen sounds good. Oh, okay,
Which I wonder if Karen is an Easter
Now,
egg.
I want to ask you guys something. I want to know if you guys caught this. Was there anything? Because they changed something on Spider-Man, and I want to see if any of you guys picked it up. No. No, they took something away.
The web. It didn't come out of his hand anymore. It came out of the actual...
Well, the one that they had in this one is actually more comic book accurate. Right. They did it differently in the Tobey Maguire one.
Even his eyes are different. When his eyes can move, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man never moved his eyes.
Well, this Tony Stark technology.
Right. They took something away from Spider-Man in this one. Mm-hmm. And I want to know if you guys caught it. It's kind of one of his signatures.
Spidey senses?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They took his spider sense away in this.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, they did.
Because he said something earlier in the movie where he's like, I don't have a good feeling about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it was kind of like a hit, but it wasn't actually like spider senses.
They kind of pinpoint that he had the reflexes.
He had the reflexes, but he did.
They never emphasized that he had any spider senses.
Yeah, the director was asked about this, and he's like, we felt like in the other movies that they it's been overused and everything, so we wanted to kind of take that out of it.
I kind of noticed while I was watching, basically the scene with the AI, and basically when he goes to foil the headquarters at the gas station.
Yeah.
And he's talking to the suit, and it's the first time they're in action together, the suit and him.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of thought, oh, this is their version of the Spidey senses. Because I guess the whole movie, I didn't really miss it, I guess. I didn't think about it too much. But when I started thinking about it, I was like, oh, okay.
Sense.
So they removed the Spidey senses and used a suit. The suit's kind of his senses.
Right, and they were
like Jarvis.
And they were kind of hinting in this article I read that maybe they'll put an upgrade in the suit that uses the more sophisticated AI to be the spider sense.
And I have
Maybe
to say,
the iron suit is.
I have to say,
I'm sure that would have it too, but I'm thinking the suit that Tony Stark gave back to him.
Right.
We don't know if it's been modified or upgraded.
Right, that's true.
And
Because he doesn't put it back on until the very end.
Yeah, he doesn't put it on until the very end.
and you gotta think, when he did just have
Training
his
wheels
homemade
protocol.
suit, when he did have his original homemade suit, after the plane crash and he's sitting there staring at the smoke, all of a sudden Vulture comes through and just knocks him on his ass. You would think he would have seen that coming if he did.
Right.
Have Spidey sense.
Right.
Yeah, you know,
So-
I like the whole spider sense thing about Spider-Man. I think that's kind of a cool part. But again, kudos to fucking Disney.
They
'Cause
took a
found-
chance.
They found a way. They took a big chance. Now we're
Yeah,
gonna
they
fuck.
found it.
Well, let's incorporate, since it's Stark technology. Let's just give him what Iron Man has.
An
that
artificial
extra
an
yeah.
artificial spider
Right,
sense.
an artificial spider.
That way
No, Sony does.
they're technically they take it away but don't.
Alright, as long as we're speaking about the genius
They
of...
took that away, but they gave him so much more.
Mhm.
You
Also.
kind of had to.
Yeah.
You couldn't
Yeah.
go back to the original Spider-Man.
So, yeah.
Like he had different settings of the fucking web.
Yeah.
Right,
So
so
it kind of
yeah, so when Peter Parker's friend it basically ends up hacking the suit and takes off the training wheels program, and Peter has full access to the suit and everything. Then that's the first introduction of the AI, Karen, I guess we're gonna call it now. I don't know if that's gonna stick or not, but whatever. So he finds out all this stuff about the suit. Now, I don't know if this weirded you guys out, but why would Tony Stark put a kill program in the suit? Because Peter Parker finds out that there's a kill program in the suit. Because the AI,
Well, hey, man,
the
he's
AI
not-
asks, "Do you want me to activate kill mode?" He's like, "No, don't activate kill mode."
Well, Tony Stark's not Batman. He's not afraid to kill.
I mean,
let's go back to the original Iron Man.
I like the drone.
Yeah,
The spider drone?
Yeah.
They were terrorists, so I guess that makes it okay. But when he goes to the village the first time in Iron Man, we're going back to 2008 Iron Man.
Oh, when he had the original Mark.
Yeah, when he goes to
Mark
fucking,
One.
he goes to that
Or Mark, it
village,
would have been
that
the
thing.
Mark II or something. Because you figure the Mark One was the original suit.
That giant
Silver one,
Yeah.
you figure it would be the Mark One.
I like that one. The Mark 1.
Well, yeah, he killed terrorists. He blew them up.
Right, but isn't Tony
the
Stark's
opposite?
whole thing is kind of like not killing? Because those repulsors are not killing. They're not kill weapons, and I think
Shockwaves or something.
in the first Iron Man he had those dart things
Yeah,
where he
yeah.
target multiple people.
They're like missiles, dude. They're kills. Those aren't stuns.
They could have been
Why did War
tranquilizers.
Machine have a fucking machine gun?
Yeah, War Machine's got
But
a Gatling.
but
gun.
even
Tony Stark created.
even so, let's just say for argument's sake that those little tiny dart missile things were okay. Let's say those are lethal. He doesn't go away with that because he's on what, Mark 60 now. They're also hinting at kind of foreshadowing to Infinity War here. They're talking about how he might be donning the bleeding edge armor.
I don't know that.
You know what you didn't see in this movie? Tony Stark circle.
Funny thing about that,
In
there's
the case, there was a whole bunch of them.
yeah, I think that's what those were. There was a bunch of extra arc
What do you
reactors.
mean you didn't see it in the movie?
You never seen it on
One-
his chest.
Right, because he had it taken out in Iron Man 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on his chest.
No, he took it out in Iron Man
In
3.
the suit.
No, he took out at the end of Iron Man 3, he finally decided to
Oh,
have
yeah.
that surgery
But
to
the
take it out of his own chest, not the suit's chest. It's assumed that he installed the arc reactors in the suits
I
themselves.
always thought it was creepy when he always stick his hand in his chest and do something like,
Yeah, it's so gooey.
yeah, and he pulls it up. I'm just like, ugh.
Well, yeah, we didn't see it.
good.
We didn't see it in him.
But in some of the set photos for Infinity War, he's wearing a shirt with the arc reactor on it. So people are thinking, oh, does something happen? He has to put the arc reactor back in.
What's up with the cat on the shirt?
I want that shirt. An arc reactor, just the arc reactor.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
What?
What's up with the cat on his shirt?
I didn't see
On
it.
the opening, when you first see Tony Stark,
Yeah, he's wearing a suit
he has a
jacket.
blazer and a big T-shirt with a big cat on it.
It's Tony Stark.
When he's
He can wear what the hell he
is
wants.
that the no wait, that's not the first time we see him.
It was
Pussy,
when they were,
motherfucker,
it
of
was
course,
when
he's
they were
Tony Stark.
When he was filming in the limousine on his phone.
I
saw Peter Parker had some cool shirts he was wearing.
Yeah,
One of them had, they're all science related.
they're all science
One
related.
had like
I'm
an
missing an
atom.
I'm missing it.
electron.
I'm missing. Yeah.
It said, are you positive?
Yeah.
A couple of things I want to bring up. First of all, I want to talk about the fucking magic of Disney. A couple of things I noticed, but I also want to talk about there were a couple of things from that trailer that did not appear in the movie.
And I think I know
Yeah,
exactly where you're
yeah.
going with that. One of them, one of
one
the glaring ones.
One that stood out to me, the sidekick never puts on the suit.
He puts on the mask.
You see
In the trailer, he puts on the whole suit.
the whole suit.
Who, the fat kid?
Yeah.
Ned?
Yeah, remember he's standing there and he's in the fucking big spider. He's a big guy.
I'll have to go back and see
And he
some of the
says-
trailers.
He said, I think they took the audio and used it somewhere else because he's like, this is awesome.
Oh right, like can I try on the suit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But what was the other one you were talking about that we didn't see out of the trailer?
The whole epic shot of
Yes,
Iron Man
yes.
and Spider-Man kind of
Flying together.
Flying
Yeah,
together.
You're right.
they
You're
took that out.
That would have been an awesome
I see. I was thinking about the suit,
Mhm.
the big guy not wearing the suit, and I was like, man, it's almost become an epidemic now. They just fucking put whatever they want in trailers, and it don't matter if it makes it to the movie or not. Star Wars is famous for it.
Yeah.
Star Wars is really
Maybe
bad
we'll
about
get it in the director's cut on
And
Blu-ray.
another takeout that they did is in his first serious fight where they're robbing the ATMs. You know, one of the key lines in the trailers was, "Hey, you guys aren't the Avengers. Hulk gives it away."
Yeah, Hulk
It
gives it
wasn't in
away.
there.
You're right. I was waiting
It
for that.
wasn't in
I forgot about it now, but I noticed it at the time. I was
That
like,
scene
that's a
worked.
different.
That scene worked better with that line, I
Yeah.
think. Some of the things they
Hey,
cut
you
out.
guys aren't the Avengers. I should know. Hulk gives it away.
Right. That was a kick-ass scene. And
But he was sitting there like leaning up against the wall trying to get
Yeah,
right to look good.
like trying to
once he-
pose and everything. It's like,
yeah, let me
hey guys, what's up?
let me just say, I thought Tom Holland was fucking awesome as Spider-Man.
Good job.
Yeah, he is.
Awesome.
Good job.
And this kind of
Definitely.
leads into something I noticed that I wanted to bring up to you guys. And the genius of Disney, the fucking brilliance of this company. So you guys notice all the fucking awesome 80s music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Alright.
80s,
Mhm.
80, Homecoming's 80s
Homecoming
theme.
was an 80s theme, which it was even the posters and shit were kind of weird looking before it came out, the Homecoming.
Mhm.
And when they said, oh, they dropped the banner or whatever, and it's this 80s theme, I was like, oh, no shit, now it all kind of makes sense. And as I'm watching it, I was kind of piecing it together. This young Spike is very much a young person movie. Very
Right,
much.
high school,
Right.
a lot of high school themes in this.
There was even, like he said, there was some fucking there was some slang I hear my 14-year-old say that Spider-Man was throwing out there. So it was made a very young-oriented movie. But they did not hesitate to make sure that, like, the Avengers world and everything that we have grown up on was a part of it. So they took a movie, and they made a movie. Now, think about it, guys. It's been almost a decade. We have watched these Marvel movies for like 10 years now, almost.
Right.
9 years, 9 plus. We were in our 20s. I was a little bit older than you guys, but we were basically in our 20s when the
You
Marvel.
were still in your 30s.
I just said.
You were still in your 30s.
But if you guys think that fucking target audiences don't count, it counts for everything. The Ferris Bueller reference.
Yeah.
Do we all love Ferris Bueller? I fucking love
Yep.
Ferris Bueller.
Bueller.
All 30, going on 40-year-olds love Ferris Bueller. We grew up with that shit. We love 80s music because we grew up with that shit. All that shit was in there, but yet on top of that, they had the young Spider-Man with the cool slang, and I was like, oh. So us, dads, who grew up watching Marvel, we're now taking our kids to go watch Marvel, and then they're like, it's not official, but by the way, this is the future of Marvel.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was all in one movie, dude. It was all seamlessly tied in.
I can see that, yeah.
Because
And this is
guys
the first
are
one I've seen that Ant-Man.
So we can take our kids and go, I fucking love it. And the kids was like, yeah.
See,
That's
guys
right.
already wanted to see Iron Man on the big screen and Thor and the Avengers, but kids really didn't really know who Iron Man was until fucking movie came out. But everyone knows who the fuck Spider-Man is.
Right, especially little kids.
Yeah.
Little kids love Spider-Man.
And Ant-Man, he's a cool character. You get tall and short.
I thought that was fucking brilliant the way they incorporated
Yeah.
everything for us and everything for our offspring for the future of Marvel. Fucking Disney's the devil. Anyways, I loved this movie. I really did, and I'm not just saying that because I've been talking it up. I mean, I was very. Another thing, I kind of I went into this movie very dark, not knowing what was. I didn't go scouring for information for Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
There was really only one trailer that they modified
It's not a Star Wars movie. I didn't do nothing.
a few different times. So and Darth Bane has no television, so commercials don't faze me. I don't have to worry about that shit. So I went into this movie very blind, and I think that kind of helped my love of the movie.
The anticipation.
Yeah, and not knowing what was coming next and all that, which is hard to do when we do a podcast because we're usually up on things.
And I gotta say right now, if Michael Keaton does not get an Oscar for this performance, then the Academy are
He
fucked.
won't.
It's
You
a
know
Marvel
he
movie.
won't.
This is-
But
Batman
A
was
Golden
amazing
Globe?
in this.
the guy deserves some sort of fucking...
There's got to be some kind of recognition because him as the villain just knocks this out of the park.
Honestly, the one thing that people have bitched about for 10 years has been the Marvel villain.
The villain problem, and Michael Keaton solves it.
And at the end, I gotta tell you, man, at the end I was a little disappointed with the way he
Just
took...
ended?
Yeah. I like, oh, really? He was a good villain and that's how you took him out? Like,
Well, I thought when his flying device was getting ready to explode, I'm like, oh, you are not going to kill him.
that way.
Yeah.
That way.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. And then, but the way they shot it, where you see him drop just before it explodes.
Was it the arc reactors he picked up? What about?
No, it was
No.
no. It was
The radiation.
it was that Chitauri power source was powering his suit, and I think with those being arc reactors, there was that radiation change, and it overloaded that, and Spider-Man recognized it, and he's like, "I'm trying to save you."
Right.
And it ends up exploding. He falls down. Spider-Man goes in, saves him.
I'm just saying, when we see him all tied up with Spider-Man's webs and the police show up, I'm like, really?
But
that's it?
But
Like,
that's
when they
that's
show him-
Spider-Man's MO, though.
But when they show him in jail
Here's your Vulture.
and meeting up with what we assume is Scorpion.
Yes, another spoiler. They introduce, I forget the guy's first name, but a Geiger who ends up becoming the Scorpion. So they basically introduced the Scorpion in this movie.
Yeah, he has a Scorpion tattoo on his neck.
Right.
And he's on the inside, too. He's in jail, and they meet. And in that scene, I was like, oh, shit. They're not done with Michael Keaton.
No.
Which is, yes.
That's
Because,
part of the movie.
oh, man, dude, he nailed it. And again, since we're on this subject...
I would say you're going to talk about the warehouse scene now?
Dude, the warehouse scene where Spider-Man, for the first time, is like manning up and like, okay, fuck it, I don't need the suit. He puts on the pajamas, puts on the sweatsuit, and goes to fight the Vulture and he meets him at the warehouse because he's aware of the plans to go steal. Huge spoilers, we're killing this movie for you. To go steal. Basically, the plan is to steal the Avengers technology.
Now the whole what basically Michael Keaton's character Adrian Toomes is doing is that he steals this tech, he turns it into weapons, and then he sells these weapons to bad guys to make money to provide for his family.
It was brilliant, really.
Because
I thought that was a great setup.
Because at the beginning of the movie, it starts right after the first Avengers, where they're doing the reconstruction and they're getting the Chitauri items and everything. He's like, no, you got to take it out like this. They'll come out easier, blah, blah, blah. And then we get introduced to Tony Stark's new creation and new way to fuck over the little guy, damage control.
And it is pretty fucked up. And they mention it. If you think about it, man, it's kind of fucked up because he says his partner, wasn't it? One of the guys working for Michael Keaton is like, so what? They get to destroy the shit and clean it up?
Mm-hmm.
Right. They get paid for cleaning up their own.
Right, and that's a direct reference to our own world. That's the way shit happens. There's wars. The motherfuckers that start the wars are also the same people who come in with their companies and clean up the war and make money off of it.
Yep.
And I thought, they're always trying to add politics into these superhero movies, even Star Wars. And it doesn't usually work. I mean, that was a major complaint with the prequels, too much politics. This was brilliant, the way they did
This
it.
nails it, especially with the current events that are going on today in real life. It syncs up so perfectly.
Can I ask you guys this? We all love Tony Stark.
Yes.
He built this fucking ship we're on.
Pretty much.
That ship we're riding into the sunset. He built it. And dude, he's wonderful to watch on screen. He was probably only in this movie 10 minutes.
If that.
Yeah, about.
I mean, 3 or 4 times, a few minutes each time.
Yeah.
10 or 12 minutes. And he was every time he's on screen, you're like, Tony Stark, you're sitting on the edge of your seat.
Shut the fuck up and listen.
But between like this kind of the shady shit of like, oh, okay, go back to Civil War, because this movie is very heavily connected to Civil War. It starts with Civil War.
It starts with
Spidey's home.
Right, with his...
That was awesome, too.
His home footage. Peter Parker is basically
you get
recording
first person
perspective of him going to the airport arriving in Berlin.
Yeah.
And then
and
the
like,
next scene, he's like, what am I doing here? And then he gets the suit, and then he's quote unquote off screen.
It was like they were making a movie. Yeah.
From Civil War, and he's like, oh wait, I gotta go. I was just called. And then he flies in, and he's like, right, and then he's in the middle of a fight. He's like, oh man, I just stole Captain America's shield, and it's so big. Oh crap, he's big. I gotta go, guys.
He drops the camera.
Right.
And shit's going on above us. Mm-hmm. So that was brilliant.
Yeah,
but the point I was trying to make is like go back to Civil War and the way that they kind of demonize Tony Stark in Civil War a little bit. I mean, it was choose a side, but we could all kind of go, what's he doing joining the government and helping keep superheroes under control? And that was my perspective of Civil War. It's like, I'm a big Stark fan, but I was like, no, dude, I don't really agree with you on this one.
Nah, I was Team Stark all the way. There was really nothing that was going to change my mind on that.
I mean, I was too. I love Tony Stark. I love Iron Man. You all know that. But it seems to me like they're opening the exit door for him. They're kind of like
try to make him like a bad guy.
I don't think.
So when he leaves, we don't miss him as much.
Yeah, a little. Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like Stark has gotten too old for the job, kind of thing.
Well,
he's not making sense. You know what I mean? Like, well, that's not really what I'm
trying to make it where the audience is like, well, he had to go because he wasn't. So we don't miss him.
So we don't miss him as much.
And plus, Robert Downey Jr.
I think you got to do that in a way.
He did an article saying that he wanted to leave Iron Man before it got embarrassing for him to even be doing it anymore.
He didn't want to Brett Favre the position.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, he's going to be 70 years old, still dressing up as Iron Man.
No.
I'd do that.
You mind if I rewind a little bit? I want to kind of go back to the Stones, the
Infinity Stone?
No.
With the Chitauri power source?
Chitauri power source. You can say it right, I can't. The way his suit exploded is because it was exposed to the radiation, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So, why didn't it lightsaber cut through everything within a quarter-mile radius like it did every other time it was exposed, in the elevator, on the boat. Why did it just explode? I'm not saying I had any faults with the scene itself, but it kind of made me think about it.
I think
it's a movie. Come on, all right, let's.
Because every time that it was exposed to radiation, it was like a little bit of radiation. But at the end, you had all those arc reactors, like a whole crate full. That's a lot of just radiation just contained in
I can see that.
all
Yeah.
one spot.
That's
So
probably what it was.
I mean, we could pick apart the whole
see
scene
that.
where Peter Parker lifts all the rubbish off of himself.
Come on, Spider-Man.
Right.
I mean,
They're holding the boat
that
together.
was for me the only point in the movie where I was like, okay, I get it, but
I was gonna say, I like how they did it because we tend to forget. We always see Spider-Man as a more grown up person. This is really the first Spider-Man where he's 15 years
I feel
old,
like they were doing
and
too.
this is
Coming of age.
right,
Yeah.
and this is a part
It was a
where
metaphor.
right, you know, and
It
it's
was
like
an unbelievable metaphor, but yes.
right, like so. Just shortly
And
after the
that's only
warehouse
reason I
scene.
didn't- That's the only reason I didn't totally roll my eyes at that scene, because I did understand this is him coming out of the
Well, that's
ashes.
why Tony
You know,
Stark
this
said
is
if you're nothing without the suit, then
right.
Then you
And he
shouldn't have
right,
it.
right before he does that, he has this moment. He looks down
he
at the
didn't have
reflection.
And a perfect cinematography there. Where you see his mask, and you see half of it. You can see it in the water, and then the other half you see his face, and it's perfect right down the middle. So you kind of see two sides of the coin.
Right.
And he comes to the realization, and he's
who
like,
do you want to be?
you know, I am more than
Peter
what I am underneath.
Right. I'm more than right.
He finally comes to realization because when all this, he's like, help me, I'm in here, and all this stuff. And then he looks down, and he's like, wait a minute, I'm in pretty much words, I'm fucking Spider-Man.
Right. And in transition, he was, when he first started, like, he was crying almost.
Right.
And then he kind of, like, stopped and he saw his reflection and he was studying shit. And at first he goes, come on, Pete.
yeah.
And then
And
right
then,
after that,
he's like, come on, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. And
Right.
that moment, he became Spider-Man.
He's like, I am Spider-Man. I'm not fucking Toby. I'm Spider-Man, goddamn.
Sorry.
But, since we're talking about that scene, let's rewind 5 minutes. Fucking brilliant scene with the Vulture, Michael Keaton, when he Peter Parker busts him and he says, I know what you're doing, I have to stop you, blah blah, and he's like,
he says, how can you? Okay, because
you're a fucking kid.
we find out that that Peter Parker's crush that he's crushing on in high school.
That was a fucking mind blower, dude.
That I honestly did not see that coming. We find out.
Opened the door, I was like, holy fuck.
That's exactly my
It
reaction.
actually made my brain go, what?
Yeah,
For a moment.
we
For a
find out that the girl he's been crushing on is the daughter of Adrian Toomes, Michael Keaton's character.
She's the mix.
And we're like, oh shit!
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh,
Batman's got jungle fever.
That's-
Batman's got jungle fever.
so that like ramped it up like tenfold because we're thinking, okay, whatever, we're not connected, and then all of a sudden, oh shit! And then on the ride over to the Homecoming, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there was a lot of the banners and stuff. Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
To go on, like, oh, they're showing the title for the movie. Homecoming, everywhere. So, Michael Keaton's character, he figures out on the way over because
Because he's Batman.
Because his daughter's a fucking loudmouth.
Did we? Yeah. Oh my god! Did you not want to slap that bitch upside the head?
Like,
or what?
shut up!
She's like, oh my god.
She's like, you're never around. Spider-Man seems to show up whenever you're.
Yeah,
busy.
you were there for
It's
2
like
seconds
the
and then you
bitch is
disappeared.
fucking, like, how do you not get it? And the dad is just like,
And
holy fuck,
fucking Batman's driving the car going.
Right, and he's like,
"Son of a
it's
bitch."
like,
Typical woman.
She's like, all she had to say
Won't
was, oh my
shut your
god.
damn
He did
mouth.
give her a dirty ass look too. Did y'all know that?
he's like,
He kind of looks at her like,
He's like,
Fuck,
bitch,
man.
just wait till
I'm
we get to
sweating
this
my
damn
balls
time.
off right now, bitch, and you're telling everything.
Because he was nervous the whole time. And once he was like,
Oh my god!
oh,
Once he opened that
shit.
door.
yeah.
But yeah.
But then that led to another great line where he drops off the daughter. He's like, "Go ahead and go inside." He's like, "I'm gonna give Peter the dad talk."
I fucking love Michael.
And he already knows that he's Spider-Man, so he takes a gun out. He turns around. He's like, "So does she know?"
And
He-
Spider-Man's
He
still
never
trying to
points
play
the
it
gun.
off.
He just, it's like
No,
on
you see the gun
front
in
of
his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just kind of just puts it like right there, which
Intimidating enough.
Yeah.
It
And
seems kind of
just like
weird.
a true teenager, I got one. He plays it to the very end. He's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and he's like,
Deny.
and then Michael Keaton's like, "Oh, good. So you play it close to the vest. I appreciate that, or I like that, or something like that." And he basically tells them, "All right, you're gonna go inside. You're gonna have a dance with my daughter, and you're gonna forget all of this." He's like, "And you're not gonna mess in my affairs, because if you do, I'm gonna kill you and everybody you love." All right.
Minus my daughter, but
Yeah, he's like, and he also says in this, he's like, "I will never forget what you did to save my daughter's life." He's like, "I respect you for that." He's like, you know me, I'd do anything for my family, blah blah blah. So then he gives all this stuff, and he's like, "All right, now go ahead and go inside." He's like, "But don't have too much fun."
Now go inside
And then he goes inside, and you see Peter. He's in this crossroads. He's like, "Do I take the easy way and just let it go, or do I go after them?" He's like, "I can't." He's like, "I gotta go,"
right.
and leaves her at the dance. Goes and then has the big battle and everything. Now I want to bring up something else. We find out that Zendaya. Is it Zendaya or Zendaya? I think I've heard it pronounced as both. It's Zendaya. Okay, so
It's
Zendaya.
not
Is
American.
she somebody I'm supposed to know?
She's a Disney character.
Disney, see?
Victorious?
The Disney connection.
She was on that show. Shake It Off.
Victoria, and she was victorious.
I don't know.
No, she wasn't victorious. She was that spy.
I haven't had
Yeah.
cable in 3 years. I have no fucking.
So it turns out that her character's name is Michelle, and then it comes out to the end. She's like, "Oh, people call me MJ."
Yeah.
Michael Jordan?
Yeah, that was weird.
So
So there
you're
was a total false flag with the MJ.
Yeah.
Total false flag. Because when we saw the preview, we were like, "What the hell? That's MJ?" What was her name?
Liz.
Liz. And everybody was like, "That's MJ?" Nobody saw the quiet, nerdy chick.
And she kept
Oh, she always
she
had
kept
something
razzing
smart
on
to say.
Peter and his
Yeah.
she kept razzing on Peter and his friend.
Throughout the whole fucking movie.
But you kind of got that vibe that she was interested,
Uh-huh.
but like kind of like in her own way.
Right.
You know, and they go to Washington D.C. and she was going to go protest, and there's this excellent moment when she gets to the Washington Monument, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm just appreciating this because it was built by slaves," and the teacher's like, "Oh, I don't think it was," and he turns and looks at the black security guard, and he's like, It's like, "Yeah, maybe." He's like, "Oh,
Enjoy your book.
enjoy your book."
Yeah. And walk
He
away.
walks away.
You know, I was a little kind of on edge of how this was going to go because think about it. MJ, okay, Michelle, not even Mary Jane, as it was described. It is the black girl. Flash is an Indian guy. Peter Parker is crushing not on MJ but on Liz. I was kind of wondering, like, what direction are they trying to go with this? Is this?
It's a minority.
And
movie.
I kind of, no, I think they kind of took it back to. I kind of feel like this Peter Parker was bit by the radioactive spider before the old style type was. Because the way we know Peter Parker is he was probably about 17, 18 years old, probably a senior in high school, which he was a sophomore.
Well, not according to the comics.
Well, the way it seems is they just kind of took him back a few more years, had him bit by the radioactive spider, and now he's playing it all throughout high school. Like
he
he
was
said,
a-
he was a sophomore.
He was a freshman or a sophomore?
He was a sophomore.
All right. Well, in the comics, he was 16 in the comics when he got bit. He was a sophomore in high school, so they were pretty close.
Yeah.
No,
I was gonna say he says he's 15 in the movie,
Right.
which means he was probably bit around like 14,
What'd you
maybe
guys-
right when he turned 15.
What did you guys think of that no origin story? Did that bother anybody?
No, I'm talking
No,
about
because
stories
I
with Spider-Man.
no, because it's gotten to the point where,
Everybody
and I think
knows.
a lot of these quote unquote reboots or characters that we're already familiar with, I think they're going to skip the origin story because by now we already know how they got there.
It's just gonna
like
be
I like this take on it because you already know he's been bit by a radioactive spider, and you're getting him pretty much day one. He's learning on the job, pretty much from Civil War. Because basically he was famous from YouTube.
Yeah, they kept saying
he wasn't mainstream yet.
Right.
And then Tony Stark, he finds him, hits on Aunt May via a video or the beginning of this movie. He's like, something like, man, your aunt dresses hot or something. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, that was a little inappropriate. He's like, don't worry, you can erase that.
Right.
He's wearing something frisky.
But he's learning on the job, and you see this throughout the movie. He wants to prove himself. Tony's like, you're not ready. And he rebels against that. He messes up. He gets the suit taken away. He learns a valuable lesson.
Right.
But then at the end, he's like, I need more training, basically. He turns down the Avengers job and says, I'm not ready yet.
So it didn't bother me, the origin story. Matter of fact, I liked the way they did it, too. It didn't bother me at all. And I don't really want to see the whole thing happen all over again. We've already seen it a couple times.
It's like watching a Batman movie.
Right, and they need to stop that with Batman.
Seeing his parents getting shot every fucking
even
movie.
in flashback form. Enough.
We know what happened.
I mean, people are more familiar with the Crime Alley than they are, I think, with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. Maybe that's just because I'm a Batman fan. The only point where it bothered me was when he was telling his friend about the spider. Kind of like, it's kind of like, I kind of thought, don't even bring it up. If you're not gonna show it, and we all know it, then why? You mean this is your best friend? You're a nerd. You got like one friend. You get bit by a radioactive spider at school, and you didn't tell nobody. You didn't tell nobody. You didn't tell your best friend like, yeah, some weird shit's happened to me ever since the spider bit me. I mean, nothing. Like, how long ago was that?
Maybe he was trying to keep it a secret, obviously, because the fact he didn't know he was Spider-Man until he came in through the bedroom window.
Did we get any sort of time reference for Civil War? Long before?
In Civil War, he says that I've only been doing this for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
He says that in Civil War.
How long ago Civil War was in this movie?
I would think it's not too long after Civil War.
It was right after.
It was
it was
2 months.
It was 2 months.
It was 2 months after because they had that time frame that said 2 months.
Yes,
later
it was 2 months.
After he was waiting
So so basically almost about half a year.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly about half. He's only had these powers for about half a year.
What was the 8 years?
The 8 years was from the Avengers at the end of the first Avengers.
Oh yeah.
And then he realizes damage control and this stuff, and one of his guys is like, "We still have all this tech and stuff," and Michael Keaton's like, "Go ahead and keep it." He's like, "The world's changing. It's time we change too." 8 years later, and then I was actually really surprised that they zipped right into the Vulture. Like, I thought it was going to be kind of a drawn-out thing, but boom, they hit right with the Vulture.
They created the suit.
Yeah,
the origin for the Vulture was like 2 minutes.
Right, like, we're going to change too 8 years later. I'm the Vulture!
Right.
Well, they kind of, like, hinted at it, because he was they were scrap collectors.
Right.
And within the first, 5 minutes of the movie, you see his, tech whiz sitting there playing with the fan with the
Chitauri power source.
The Chitauri power source. I can't say it. But he's sitting there playing with a fan, and you see the fan hovering.
An alien fan.
And all of a sudden, as soon as I seen that, I was like, okay, this is exactly where they got the idea from.
Yeah, I guess I didn't go into this totally blind, because I already knew all that. I already knew
But it also goes...
the suit came from.
Right. Well, right. That was actually kind of hinted to. You got all this tech. Obviously, it's going to have to be created.
Right.
From that too. But it also goes to explain how smart Adrian Toomes is, because he was heisting for 8 years undetected.
Yeah.
Until that blasted Spider-Man put his nose in our business.
And took care of the original Shocker.
That shocked that. Well, no pun intended, but that shocked the hell out of me.
That shocked the shit out of me.
I was like, "Holy shit! They just killed the Shocker!" And then he picks up the gauntlet and gives it to the other guy. He's like, yeah, you're the Shocker now. I'm like, can they do that?
And that's when I looked at Darth Vader too. I was sitting there like, well, he didn't last very long.
And there was a funny part, like, Michael Keaton, he turns to this guy, he's like, I thought this was the anti-gravity gun. He's like, no, it's over there. Whatever.
Right. Turned him to dust.
No remorse whatsoever.
Bro, he's like,
it's just like, fuck it, man. I'm only human.
Yeah, you're the Shocker now.
Yeah, it's interesting how they took, like, the Family Guy and turned him into the killer.
Yeah.
Because he's doing it for his family.
They're doing it, yeah. He says in the movie, it's like, I'll do anything for my family.
Yeah. All right, I can see Wreck-It Ralph's getting antsy. We're going to wrap this up. Final thoughts of the movie. Score,
Awesome.
final thoughts.
I would say we'll
give it a
do it a score. Yeah. Well, he gives it a 6 because he hates
6?
Spider-Man.
Fucking 6?
I give it like an 8.
Hey, you.
It wasn't Toby.
What movie was it that you gave a low score to?
I gave Wonder Woman a 7.5. And I told you I liked the movie. It was
I like the movie. I just.
You fucking hate Spider-Man. You do.
It's alright.
You guys, dude, you just have to mentally wipe Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
If I wipe him out completely, I'll give it a 7.5.
Is it a movie you would
Stop
see? Is it a movie that you would watch again?
I would go watch this
Probably,
movie.
yeah.
I would
Then
watch
it's at
this
least
movie.
a 7.5.
Yeah, I'd probably buy it because it's a Marvel movie, but
Dude, I loved it.
it was good.
I thought it was pretty good.
Probably the best Spider-Man movie.
Yes,
they
this is
made.
this. Yes, this is definitely a go out and see this movie.
Easily the best.
It is
Spider-Man.
yes, it is well worth your money.
It's hard to put it in the category of a Marvel movie because it's kind of shared universe. But
Yeah.
in terms of, I'm gonna throw this out there for you guys. If we call it a Marvel movie, where does it rank among the Marvel movies?
Well, I would say that this is a Marvel movie because this is taking place within the Marvel universe.
The opening credit of Marvel. It's a Marvel.
It was
movie.
very much
Right.
Avengers oriented.
Because this is in the Marvel universe. This
I'm not
isn't.
denying that.
This isn't going to be.
But it was produced and put out there by Sony.
Yeah, but still Marvel. It's all canon.
It is canon. Absolutely.
It's all Marvel.
So if it's a Marvel movie in the past 9 years, where does it rank?
it's not as good
I can
as
tell you
the-
honestly, for me, easily Iron Man 1 is my favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard
For me.
to debate the original.
But
I like Iron Man 1.
but
The one to start it all. It's kind of hard to.
I loved the first Avengers a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love this movie so much. I would say it's top 5.
You would.
I do that, and I'm not. Like I said earlier, Spider-Man for me is not my favorite character,
Yeah.
but he's probably iconic-wise top 5 biggest characters out there. I mean, you got Batman, Superman,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. It just rolls off the tongue.
And also another little side note, they did not introduce J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh
Yeah.
God, you're right.
Well, he's too young to work.
No. I realize that, but
They didn't have nothing
but
about
I
people or
figured
anything.
when they were running the at the beginning of the movie, we were talking about like Spider-Man was responsible for the deli getting destroyed and all that stuff. That would have been a perfect opportunity to say, yeah, J. Jonah Jameson, the editor of the Bugle, had this to say. That menace is Spider-Man.
Right.
That menace, whatever. But they didn't.
Wasn't he in Civil War?
No.
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 Jameson, no.
No, there was no reference to that. At
I don't
all?
think so.
I felt like there was a reference to the newspaper in Civil War. But
They
maybe not.
they might have said the Bugle, but they didn't introduce Jameson.
Well, they will. Give it time.
Well,
you're right.
I'm sure they would. But there's no J. Jonah in this.
Couple
It's like,
integral parts of Spider-Man.
and I'm sorry,
MJ.
it's hard to replace J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah.
Yeah.
He nailed that out of the park.
Agreed.
So you give it a 7.5?
No.
That you said 7.5?
No. I seriously would give this movie, if we did quarters, it would be a 9.25, but I'll go with 9.
9.
It's a great 9. I'm on the verge of calling it a 9.5 for me. I loved the music. There was so much I loved about this movie. Fucking Michael Keaton was brilliant. Brilliant.
Michael Keaton's the only reason why I gave it a 7.5.
Oh my god.
No.
Did we go to the same movie?
It was all over you, Spider-Man. No, it was good. I'll web sling his ass all the way.
I thought it was awesome.
It was good. It's an 8. It's an 8 for me then.
Me personally, with the differences that, like I had said before, with how we know everybody.
It's
from
a rainbow
originally.
world now,
Yeah.
Chris.
They're-
Get on board
They're
or
changing
get left
shit
behind.
up, but
1 through 10, Chris.
I like
1
the
through
way
10.
that they did everything. I'll give it an 8.5, 8.5.
8.5.
I thought it was
good.
pretty good. I'd definitely see it again.
I would too, easily,
Definitely.
a couple
Yeah.
times.
It's one of those movies I put on before I go to bed to help me fall asleep.
You're a fucking asshole. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. I was not overwhelmed like everybody else with Wonder Woman. I liked it, but everyone's got their opinions. Nate, you're the final say-so.
All right, I'm not even going to hesitate with this. I'm giving it a 9.
And James?
About 9.
9.
You guys are all fucking stupid.
That's our Spider-Man review. We do need to announce that there's going to be another contest.
Yeah, we'll do it next month.
You want to? You want to wait on it?
Yeah, we can announce it, but it'll be next
Did you
month.
not get that text message? Because I got a different text message.
Well, go ahead. You got the message.
All right, so check this out, guys. We're going to do another contest. We're not sure what the reward giveaway is going to be yet. We're going to select something or have our secretary choose something. Yeah, we're that big now. But here's the rules for the contest. Remember what we were talking about earlier? Rules for the contest?
Like, comment, share.
No. The new rules for the contest.
This is how new
You
it
have to
is.
show us your boobs.
On the way home, we were talking about it. What was it going to be? Make up your own. Remember, it was tell us your best.
Chewbacca.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. Here's the question, and we'll have the
That's stupid, but go with it.
I'm kind of curious on what the commentary is going to be.
We want to hear you guys. This is why we're doing this contest. We want feedback from you guys. Yes, it's still carrot in front of your face. That's what we're doing. We want to hear from you guys. So here's the rules to the contest. It's going to go for a week. We'll announce the winner at, let's go 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
That way we can read a comment.
Yeah, that's fine.
Here's the question. You guys answer it. YouTube, Facebook, or Podbean have a comment section.
Yeah, Podbean does. Podbean next week.
Podbean, you can leave a comment on there also, or just leave it on our website. Here's the question for you. How does a Wookiee wipe his ass?
Very careful.
We want to hear your
Without
most
getting
creative.
dingleberries
We want to
stuck
hear
in his
your
ass.
most creative and personal approach to this.
And yes, you heard it
In
right.
a
How does a
realistic-
Wookiee wipe
In a
his
realistic sense or a comedic sense, how does a Wookiee wipe his ass in the Star Wars universe? And the best answer will win the giveaway. We're not sure what we're giving away, but we'll figure that part out.
Yeah, we'll
One hand
that
at
will
a
be
time.
posted on the
One hand at a time. Jason.
it'll be posted on the Facebook page. I'm assuming whenever we think of a prize.
Right.
Be brave, get creative.
Could you see a Wookiee on a bidet?
All natural. No toilet paper, just the fur. All right, guys, that's our podcast. We'll catch you next
All
week.
right, yep, we'll catch you next week. We'll let you know the topic we'll work on, but we'll let you know. All right, take it. Bye.
Later.